Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Up in the next 1 hour, we bring you this special program where we decipher for you Prime Minister Modi's visit to Maldives, his second stop in the two-nation tour. But first up, the headlines we're tracking this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrive in Maldives shortly. The visit to further strengthen cooperation for peace, prosperity and stability in the Indian Ocean region. Prime Minister Modi to attend Maldives Independence Day celebrations on July 26th as guest of honour. High-level talks to take stock of progress in implementation of India-Maldives joint vision for a comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership. India and UK signed historic free trade agreement during Prime Minister Modi's visit to the country. Indian textile, gems and jewellery sectors to benefit, medical devices to get cheaper. Prime Minister Modi says outcomes of his UK visit will benefit the future generations and contribute to shared growth and prosperity, while Starmer calls it most significant deal since EU exit. After concluding his successful United Kingdom visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will arrive in Malé shortly, the capital of Maldives, as part of his two-nation tour. Up next on your screens, we have the visuals of departure of Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the United Kingdom, and he will be arriving in Malé in a short while from now. All eyes are on Maldives as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route on a significant visit to the island nation, coinciding with its Independence Day celebrations. This visit is being seen as a major diplomatic engagement aimed at deepening the strong historical and strategic ties between India and the Maldives.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to the archipelago where he will be attending the Independence Day celebrations. Prime Minister Modi is to hold key talks with President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu, focusing on enhancing cooperation in areas including connectivity, climate resilience, economic development and maritime security.
Between our two countries, given the good relationship and the importance that is being attached by President Muizzu's administration in welcoming Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, to Maldives, there's a lot of expectation, and this visit, I'm sure, would be further consolidating the ties between our two countries. We have been having various exercises, including humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise, bilateral exercises. All these things are seen as part of the capacity building and training part of it, which is very well respected and very well appreciated by the Maldivians.
Prime Minister will also hand over the Bhishma Health Cubes to the Maldives as a symbol of India's commitment to strengthening healthcare cooperation with its neighbours. These portable digital health units are expected to enhance medical access and diagnostics, especially in remote island communities. Commemorative stamp on the occasion of 60th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations will also be released. Prime Minister will also inaugurate projects during his visit. The visit will also include outreach to the Indian diaspora, who are looking forward to interacting with the Prime Minister and expressing their deep-rooted connection to India.
I'm very happy that I am in Maldives at a very right time, and I'm looking forward for this. And one of the proudest moments for us Indians is to see our flags, which are all over the Malé city now.
Well, seeing the Indian flag hoisted all over the Malé city, it's an emotion, truly. I mean, everybody is so excited, and the energy level suddenly has gone high. People are like, oh yes, our Prime Minister is coming. Thanks to the PM for giving us this time to actually interact with us, you know. Yeah. That's a big thing for us, to take out the time for the diaspora and meet us.
The entire diaspora is waiting with the bated breath. I can tell you this much. Absolutely counting fingers, counting the dates on the calendar. And yes, the countdown has begun.
From boosting people-to-people ties to shaping the future of the Indian Ocean region, the visit carries both emotional and strategic weight. As Prime Minister Modi touches down in Male, the visit promises to further solidify India's neighbourhood first policy and reinforce its role as a trusted development partner of the Maldives.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Maldives visit for the Independence Day celebrations comes at a crucial time of regional cooperation. It is seen as a strong gesture of friendship and it reaffirms both nations' commitment to deepening ties. With camera person Aniket Dubey and Kuldeep Sharma, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Male, Maldives.
All right, our correspondent Shama Mishra is joining us from Male. Shama, good morning. We've seen a detailed report of yours talking of the expectations of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will be participating in the Independence Day celebrations of Maldives. But when we talk of what all will be taken up on the discussion table between the leadership of Maldives and Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led Indian delegation, let us know what is it that will bring the two nations closer.
Well, it's the friendship that brings the two nations closer, and it's always how India treats its neighborhood. We have always seen that how India has had this neighborhood first policy, and this visit can be termed can be termed as a part of that larger policy. We've also seen, Lipakshi, in recent years or recent months that India has given a direction to the global south, and India has been emerging as a leader of the global south, be it G20, be it other important meetings. India has given a direction, a guidance to the G20, to the global south nations. Well, here we are here at Male, which is the capital of Maldives, and we got an interesting fact to know where Maldives is a combination of more than 1,000 islands coming together, and it's a really tiny country. All islands over here are really, we could say very pretty, but yes, they are small, and India and the Indian project has a very larger role to play over here. While talking earlier, Lepakshi, to the High Commissioner here in Maldives from India, he did mention that, how the climate resilience, economic cooperation, friendship, trust, all these would be an important aspect, important part, which the two countries would be discussing. And Lepakshi, I'd also like to show you, because I've already told you that we are at the Velana International Airport of Male. Behind me is the red carpet laid down for our Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He would be here within some minutes, and this particular area has been decorated for the welcome of Prime Minister, and in few minutes there'll be an Indian diaspora over here waiting in the VIP area for meeting the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and catching a glimpse of Prime Minister. We also understood that the Maldivian students over here from grade 3 to grade 5, they will be performing their traditional Maldivian dance, and they've gotten their instruments. They are decked up in their traditional clothes, traditional dresses over here, even the boys and even the girls. So we will be seeing a glimpse of what the traditional Maldivian dance is, Maldivian performance over here is, and Prime Minister will also get to see that. After meeting over here and taking the welcome from the Maldivian students and the Indian diaspora, Prime Minister is slated to move to Kurumba, which is an island, and there also he'll be meeting the Indian diaspora. And Lepakshi, you've seen the Chow dance performance and the glimpses rather of the Chow dance performance and the performers' bites, how excited they are to welcome the Prime Minister. So the performance will be happening there at the Kurumba village, and we're also getting to know that there also be some interaction with the Indian diaspora. After that, he'll be moving, the Prime Minister would be moving to Republic Square. There'll be some meetings. We are also understanding there'll be a closed-door meeting with the President, and talking about President Mohammad Muizzu here, he has already arrived at the airport and he's been waiting for receiving Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So yes, once the aircraft of Prime Minister lands over here, President would be going to welcome him and would be then coming along with him to this particular area where the Indian diaspora and even the Maldivian students and their teachers are waiting to give a grand welcome to Prime Minister. The day is action-packed, Lepakshi, and we are understanding that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, since he is the chief guest, the guest of honor for the Independence Day celebrations of the 60 years of Maldivian Independence Day, so he'll be participating in that celebrations tomorrow. The coincidence over here is that not just Maldives is celebrating 60 years of its independence, but we are also seeing the anniversary or the 60th year of the diplomatic relations between Maldives and India, and we are sure to understand that there'll be so many important parts where India and Maldives will be coming together and talking, and we are also talking about the best practices, because India has been giving a lot of projects. India has been erecting a lot of projects over here. One of them is Greater Malay Connectivity Project, which will be the longest bridge over here in Malay, and it will be connecting 4 islands. So it will be 6.7 kilometers long and 530 million project, which is, the 100 million is granted by India. So India has a lot of projects over here, not just in infrastructure, in bridges, but also the roads, but also the housing projects over here. India is been playing an important role over here. We are also talking about best practices, so we can learn some tricks and some important parts how tourism can be further enhanced in our country. And I'm sure that the Maldivian side would be happy to share those aspects, those key points over here, how the tourism or the tourists could be properly attracted, could be properly managed, and with more activities and amenities, India can also rise at many places which are untouched but offers a variety and offers a beautiful landscape to the people and to the tourists, not just of India but across the world.
All right, Shama, that sums up the expectations from the visit of Prime Minister Modi to Maldives. He will be landing in Maldives in a short while from now. We'll keep coming back to you again, but as of now, thanks for joining in with those updates. That was our correspondent Shama Mishra telling us more about Prime Minister Modi's visit to Maldives. He will be landing in Maldives in a short while from now. And up next, we will be talking to 2 guests who will help us understand better what does this visit of Prime Minister Modi to Maldives mean. We are joined in by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, former senior diplomat, and we're joined in by Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, School of International Studies, JNU. Both of them are joining us virtually. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. First, I will come to you, Ambassador Wadhwa. Help us understand the timing of this visit, because we've seen how this visit is being seen as a medium to reset the relationship between Maldives and India. Just last year we saw there was friction in the ties, there were provocations, knee-jerk provocations, but still after that phased out, we've seen Prime Minister heading towards Maldives to participate, to attend the Independence Day celebrations as guest of honor there. According to you, what has brought in this turnaround in the relationship?
So, as you rightly said, there's been a turnaround in the relationship, which is quite significant and very prominent. And one can attribute it to 2 or 3 important factors. One is the patience and the steadfast foreign policy by India, taking into account the neighborhood first policy, making sure that Maldives does not default on its payments, helping them out, continuing to help them out with infrastructure projects and whatever Maldives needs in this process. So when President Moiso came to power, we saw that he came to power on an anti-India plan. And thereafter, we had a period where there was turbulence in the relationship. But very quickly, that has turned around because of the fact that Maldives has come to realize that given the geography of Maldives and India, it's very important to have good relationships with a country like India, on which there are a number of dependencies. And India has been very humble and has shown qualities of perseverance over the years, so the last 1.5 years. It's not hesitated to help Maldives whenever it was needed, financially and otherwise, and has continued to extend all possible help and support in its endeavor to pay back its debts, etc., and to keep the economy steady. And now, once again, Maldives finds itself in a situation where the debt levels have risen to 130% of its GDP. I'm sure Maldives realizes that the country to rely upon in these situations is India. It has seen by experience over the past 1.5 years that it's not other countries who can come to its help and rescue when needed, but the dependency of India becomes prominent in that respect. Now, this is a very significant moment because obviously it's the 60th year of Maldivian independence. And to give the Prime Minister this honor of being the chief guest by a neighboring country in our very important neighborhood in the Indian Ocean is very, very significant indeed.
All right, I'll take that forward to Professor Bhardwaj. Professor Bhardwaj, this visit comes at a time when Maldives is celebrating its 60th Independence Day. At the same time, India and Maldives are observing or celebrating 60 years of diplomatic relationship. Help us understand how has this relationship evolved over these 6 decades. We did see, various highs and lows in the relationship, but this is the moment for both the nations, which we assume will be resetting the relationship between the two countries. Help us understand how over these 6 decades the relationship between India and Maldives has evolved.
Thank you very much. First you can see both the countries, they had the colonial past, and from the colonial experience that both the countries, they are traveling to institutionalized democratic ethos. Though India has become democratic in 1947 itself, and we had been working and we had been promoting democracy in the neighborhood. Since Maldives had become independent in 1966, and they are celebrating the 60 years of their independence, we have also established diplomatic relations with Maldives in 1966. But you can see that it has reinstated, it has brought the democracy from 2008, while Nasheed has become the president of MDP and being elected by the Maldivian in 2008. From there, we have been constantly trying to institutionalize democratic ethos and values in Maldives. There had been excellent relations with Maldives. You can see that first President Abdul Gayoom, we had maintained very cordial, very constructive engagement, and later on that Nasheed has come, we had very good relations. But in between, the rise of China and the Chinese policies in South Asia, where they were trying to make its access in small states of South Asia, including Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and of course that building and investment in Pakistan. Somehow that new political constituents has been created in Maldives, and they started cultivating and doing anti-Indian politics. You can say Yamin was there, and Yamin tried to bring the Chinese investment to balance the India's presence in this. And later this Moizu also tried to use that India out instead of India first policy. They preferred the India out, but they know the hard truth that they cannot survive, they cannot live, they can prosper without India's constant unconditional support to Maldives. And you can see that this relationship between India and Maldives that has been now on the right track again after a short intervals by the Moizu and you can say Yamin. Now we have developed a very close, important partnership under two policy perspectives. One is, of course, the India's neighborhood first policy, and in this neighborhood first policy we had been very constructive, very non-reciprocal in our approach. We had been the first respondent to the neighboring countries if they are in crisis. There are the examples where Sri Lanka was in crisis, there were debt trap, the Chinese investment has led the economic crisis in Sri Lanka. India had provided a very constructive, very timely help to Sri Lanka. The same manner that today also in Maldives there are a lot of challenges, a lot of problems regarding climate change. You can say about the tourism, because of the high exchange rates, that the cost of tourism is very high in Maldives, and people are preferring other destinations. So India, they are looking forward to a constructive engagement with India. So under the neighborhood first policy, we try to maintain, cultivate good relations with Maldives. The second policy is, of course, the policy of Mahasagar. the mutual and holistic security and growth across the region that has been announced earlier. We had been working under the Sagar, now it is Mahasagar, and there Maldives is very important, being a island state, being a keeping the maritime security issues into mind, because a lot of energy trades that take place from the Arabian Sea to the Indian Ocean and then passes to the other world, from the Gulf countries to the Southeast Asian countries, including India. They are very the security of these trade routes are very important for India and for other countries. So Maldives constructive and positive and liberal secular system is very important, because we have also seen that Maldives had somehow the radicals, extremist, rightist wings has also become very strong, very in Maldivian politics, and they have been educated from Pakistan. There have been a number of Islamist groups had been started doing their activities in Maldives. That has been alarmed to the not only India but other communities, other countries also, that if this would go under the hands of the radicals, that would create a security threat to this Indian Ocean. So India's the first policy objective is to keep the security issues intact, that address the security concerns related to Maldives. And there are two security, like one is of course the internal security, where terrorism, fundamentalism and insurgency is one of the issue. And the second, of course, the presence of extra regional powers, what the extra regional powers like the Chinese are doing in these small states, that they are investing larger than their GDP size. And today, you will see that the current around 20% of GDP is current account deficit of Maldives, and that is also a concern to the Maldives. So India is very much concerns about the security issues and presence of extra-regional powers that is trying to destabilize this region politically and security-wise. So we are trying to engage the neighboring countries, including Maldives, very constructively, very inclusively, keeping different policy perspectives into the mind. The second very important aspect that we are also looking forward to have a political stability in Maldives. That the way the Maldivians have used anti-India and gestures, and that has...
Yes, please continue.
That has provided a political instability in Maldives, and the way their ministers were responding and giving irresponsible statements. India being a unique partner, or having unique relations with Maldives, we had responded very calmly, but the way the political stakeholders in Maldives has projected that Indian people has also become very furious about the issues, that we are the first providers, we are the first who are encouraging and developing their economic through tourism and from other capacity developmental projects like the trainings, like opening hospitals, like we have been thoroughly, like you talk about the story. We have established Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital. We have established Institute of Technology for Education. We have also established the Faculty of Tourism and Hospitality. We have also set up number of projects, the National College of Policy and Law Enforcement. So we are trying to increase the infrastructures and capacity build-up projects in Maldives, so that you can remain a very liberal, democratic, secular country, being a partner in the development rather than the obstacles and a threat to.
And that perhaps has helped in India's favor. We'll continue that discussion, but for our viewers, let's get you more reports on Prime Minister Modi's visit to Maldives. In a vibrant display of India's cultural heritage, children are set to welcome Prime Minister Modi by performing the traditional Chow dance from Bihar. The young performers, trained specially for this occasion, say that they're proud to represent India's rich folk traditions on an international stage. Many of the children expressed excitement about being part of the cultural welcome for the Prime Minister. The performance is also a reflection of the strong people-to-people ties between India and the Maldives.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be visiting Maldives, and we are here at the Indian Cultural Center where we have the kids who will be performing for the Prime Minister's welcome. What are you going to be performing, and tell us about this particular dance.
We are going to be performing Chow dance. It's inspired by martial arts.
How excited are you that you'll be performing in front of our Prime Minister, giving a piece of tradition?
It's like a really golden opportunity for me and all, and I'm very happy about it.
She is happy. Rest of them are very excited for the Prime Minister. Do you have some message for our Prime Minister because it's usually seen once the performance is done, PM comes and speaks to the children.
First of all, we're really excited to meet him. That itself is a golden opportunity, and speaking to him is just out of the world. And a message, we love him so much. He is a wonderful Prime Minister, and yes.
Okay, all right. So these girls are definitely excited, and we'll also get a piece of tradition from seas apart, where people living here in Malé, in Maldives, will be presenting the Chow dance, which is a traditional dance of India, and the Prime Minister would be seeing it once he comes here. With camera person Aniket, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Malé, Maldives.
All right, that was our correspondent Shama Mishra's report. And up next, we're joined in by Vishal Baristo, who is present at the hotel where the Prime Minister will be arriving at after his arrival in Maldives. He is at the Kurumba Resort in Maldives. And Vishal, behind you, I see, huge crowd gathered there to welcome the Prime Minister. Tell us what you're witnessing there. Help us understand the pulse of the excitement there in Maldives.
Well, a very good morning to you, Preeti, from Malé, and there's a lot of excitement in the air, and I would ask my cameraman to first show you a section of the Indian diaspora are here with the tricolour in their hands. They are so very proud with smiles on their faces, and they are waiting for this opportunity. They have been waiting for this opportunity for a very long time. Some of them were lucky to meet the Prime Minister in 2019 during his last visit, but some of them weren't. So this time they are looking for an opportunity, and they are carrying all these placards, tricolors. They are dressed in their Indian attire from different parts of the country. Section of the southern part of the country is also there. So they are also very happy, and you must be hearing the music also. These children are here. They are specially prepared for this day. You saw the report. Our viewers saw the report by my colleague Shama Mishra, and there you see these children. They have worked so very hard for a few weeks. They prepared this Chow dance, and let's talk to some of them and find out what's your name and how's the feeling. He is about to enter this place.
I'm Diya Dinkar, and this feels really unreal. We were all just now talking about how it feels like a dream, because standing this close to him, it's just a very unreal experience, and we're really, really excited to perform. Yeah.
What do you really admire in the Prime Minister?
He's very humble. Okay, I heard the director ma'am of ICC. She was saying how he, when a lady was crying, he called her over and they had a chat. He talks to everyone in the same way, and he's a really humble man.
What would you like to say to the Prime Minister if you see him?
I don't know. That we love him so much. We'll do our best. We'll give our best performance. Yeah.
So there you hear, this child is all full of emotions, and she's not the only one. The mood is absolutely very emotional, of the feeling, filled with the feeling of nationalism, filled with the feeling of pride, and filled with the feeling of responsibility, because the Indian diaspora has a lot to do here and everywhere in the world. Wherever I go, they say that we are here to lift the tricolour to new heights every time, and they are also very proud of what they do. Let me tell you that the Indians are placed at key positions here. The tourism industry of Maldives is very much dependent on the seaplane industry, and let me tell you, the Indians are doing very, very well here in the seaplane industry, and they are making a mark for themselves. Also, India is constructing the largest bridge in Maldives, which is 6.7 kilometers long, much, much larger and bigger than what China did way back. The bridge would be complete in 2026, and it would be a 6.7 kilometers long bridge connecting 4 islands from Male, which is the capital of Maldives, to Thela Fishu. Thela Fushi, I beg your pardon, is the business hub, the industrial hub of Maldives. And it would be of great help to the people of Maldives. It would be a great help to the economy of Maldives, because the time consumed would be reduced drastically and transportation would become much easier. Let me tell you that this is an island country, not much of land is available, so most of the commuting and transportation takes place on the sea. But because of this bridge, which is going to be a 4-lane bridge, it is going to be a miracle for the economy of Maldives.
All right. All right, Vishal, it's going to be a game changer for the economy of Maldives. Also, when the PM arrives there in Male, get us more on what would be there on his agenda through the day, because we believe that it's going to be a packed day ahead for the Prime Minister in Maldives. And tomorrow he will be attending the Independence Day celebrations of Maldives. Put all this together, get us more on Prime Minister's, the business which will be taken up by the Indian delegation led by Prime Minister in Maldives.
Well, certainly the visit of the Prime Minister coincides with the 60th Independence Day of Maldives, and Prime Minister would be the guest of honor. And what a coincidence, this is also the 60th anniversary of India-Maldives diplomatic relations. So quite an important moment for both the countries, and Prime Minister's 2-day stay will be very, very hectic. He would be meeting the president. He would be also having a bilateral with the Prime Minister Muizu. There would be MOUs signing, and he would be the guest of honor, which is tomorrow in the Independence Day. So a lot of issues are there. Defense cooperation, maritime security. Remember, India and Maldives can play a crucial role in the maritime security. India has always been of great help to Maldives, and Maldives is also a member of SAARC. So India is also looking for an active participation of Maldives in the Indian Ocean Rim Association. So SAFTA is another organization that India wants Maldives to be actively participating. So all these things are there. We are also looking for a free trade agreement. We are also looking for the UPI transactions. So things are going right on track. Official announcement would be coming after the signing is over. But let me tell you that today the Prime Minister has here in Male, it would be very, very hectic and very, very important for the future of both the countries. Preeti?
All right, Vishal, we'll leave it here, but you stay with us. We'll come back to you again. At present, I'll bring in our guests who are here with us as part of the program. We're joined in by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, former senior diplomat, and we're joined in by Professor Sanjay Bharadwaj, School of International Studies, JNU. Ambassador Wadhwa, you talked of a very important point, how the diplomacy of patience, aid and assistance and friendship was followed by India in spite of the provocations, in spite of the anti-India stand that was taken by Maldives instead of First India policy that has been, witnessed in the recent past with regard to Maldives and India. In today's times, when the world is witnessing such geopolitical uncertainty, when when every country is trying to express its supremacy and show its clout, at the same time we've seen the conflicts that are at present going on. Put all this together, to what extent does this diplomacy of patience, this diplomacy of aid and assistance, this diplomacy of friendship work in further strengthening the ties between two countries in today's times?
Well, I think it particularly is important in the context of our neighborhood. And in Maldives is the first example of this policy succeeding. You see, if you look at the perspective, from the perspective of the Maldives today, what Maldives does need is a fight on 2 or 3 important fronts. One is, of course, the economic crisis that Maldives faces today. And if you look at India's track record, it's not only the budgetary support of $50 million, the treasury rollover of $50 million, also the infrastructure projects that India has built, the largest one being for the National College of Policing, which is around $222 million 222 crores Indian rupees. And also the currency swap agreement is very important here, because if there is a sudden crisis in Maldives, then of course Maldives has an access to about $400 million immediately. On top of that, there is a line of credit that India has extended of $800 million to the Maldives for various projects, most of them in the infrastructure development. Now, from the Maldivian perspective, this year and next year are going to be crucial as far as its debt repayments are concerned. So all these facilities that India has extended become extremely important. On top of that, as far as the current situation in Maldives is concerned, it's facing a sort of siege from the radicalization of the society and from a drug menace that goes hand in hand by countries who are there for an ulterior motive, led by Pakistan. And they have all the wherewithal to destabilize the country if they can succeed in these aims. The Maldives will be looking to counter that, and I think there's no better country to turn to than India, because India itself has had the experience of fighting these menaces. It still is fighting these menaces. It can apply its experience to Maldives and lend a helping hand. Third, of course, is the ongoing development projects where connectivity becomes the most important, and digital connectivity is on top of this stack. So our digital connectivity, especially UPI transactions, which have already started in Maldives, which are helping tourism, and of course the inflow of tourists from India into Maldives, from their perspective, is the most important lifeline for the economy. So both sides, I'm sure, will be talking about how to enhance that relationship and to make sure that that lifeline continues to increase. Lastly, of course, is the question of security and the comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership that we are talking about now becomes important in that context, because it's all encompassing as far as maritime security is concerned, as far as the security of India in its neighborhood is concerned, and also the fact that it enhances the outreach of India's Mahasagar program. So security and growth for all in the region, of course, is important not just for Maldives, but also for other countries in the region, extending right up to Mauritius, Seychelles, etc. India has a vision of what to do in future because of things to come, the increasing levels of security threats which will happen in this region, which can affect our trade and passage of vessels and through sea lanes. So that's an extremely important aspect as well. Maldives, being small, of course, does not have so much of a clout, but can play a very important role if it is incorporated into the system of alliances that India is trying to build against all these threats in the region.
A very important point put forth by you, sir. I'll take that forward to Professor Bhardwaj. When we talk of the Indo-Pacific region, Professor Bhardwaj, small states, let's talk of Maldives itself. It's an archipelago of around 1,200 small islands. Small states like these, to what extent do they play a role? Because they can gain relevance not through their power alone, but through their strategic important locations in these regions. So when we specifically talk of a secure, free Indo-Pacific region, what is it? What role can Maldives play in securing, in helping, India-Pacific region become free and secure? So please unmute your device.
Thank you. This is very important questions that when you ask about the Indo-Pacific strategy, where India is looking forward to have the inclusivity in the concept and the idea of Indo-Pacific strategy. And there we see that you correctly mentioned that we are looking for open and free Indo-Pacific region, where all the countries have free navigational rights for the trade and for the commercial activities, and wherever the other countries are coming and creating hurdles and creating problems in the Indo-Pacific regions, that India is looking partners, not only those 4 states while under the Quad, like US and Australia and Japan, we are also looking at the small states' role to ensure the free and open Indo-Pacific regions. India tried to cultivate Bangladesh and Sri Lanka as well as the Maldives to come in under the Indo-Pacific region. There is also one very strong argument that India brought it, that the Indo-Pacific region should not be defined from the Bollywood to Hollywood. It is not that we are looking beyond Bollywood, means that we also trying to bring into in this Indo-Pacific region the Arabian Sea countries, or you can say island states, while keeping the emerging threats from the terrorism and fundamentalism. And Maldives is very important, keeping these the issues of fundamentalism and extremism, that has become a very safe hub for some of the violent non-state actors supported by the Pakistanis, and they are getting trainings, they are getting educated there, and they are trying to Islamize the Maldivian society that has been very democratic, very inclusive, and has very strong lineages and linkages with India historically. So India, from different policy perspectives, trying to engage Maldives and small states under the Indo-Pacific strategy in general, but in very specific, we had the 3-4 policy initiatives. One is that we will maintain non-reciprocity on the economic and development issues, but we will have the reciprocal relations while we are dealing the security issues, because the maritime security is very important. We have seen terrorism in Mumbai attacks while the people had come, the terrorists had come from the sea route. So Maldives is very important while keeping this, and we are looking forward a reciprocal relations that secure this region and constructive against this region. Second, very important, that we are just not dealing in the bilateral perspective. Earlier we used to have India-Maldives relations. Now we are looking at the multilateral perspectives. You correctly pointed out about the Indo-Pacific is a multilateral forum, and we are trying to bring more and more countries. Small and bigger doesn't make a difference. That is one thing. But another, like the project Sagar region, Mahasagar, under that also we are trying to bring Maldives. And the third, of course, the Indian Ocean Rim, that is also Maldives is very important. So through multilateral institutional frameworks, we are trying to engage Maldives, being a small states, into broader framework. We can also think that if Maldives can also join BIMSTEC, where Sri Lanka is already a member, that Maldives can also add, and that would be definitely addressing the non-traditional issues, because Maldives is facing the issue of climate change, and particularly, you know, that the loss of natural habitats for fishes are a challenging issue for Maldives. So they need new technology, they need new environment, and India and the BIMSTEC countries can provide to strengthen this natural habitats of Maldives. So that is also very, very important perspective. And the third very important aspect, that we are trying to have a constructive unilateralism, that we are there in your crisis. Whenever there is crisis, either there's environmental crisis is there, or the health issues in COVID-19 is the best example, that we have provided vaccines, COVID, and other instruments and tools to fight the COVID-19 pandemics and all that. So, you know, India is trying to cultivate, engage Maldives and the other small states of South Asia very constructively, so that we can have a stable, peaceful South Asia region, and India can be a responsible regional partner to lead their voice in the global South, and to collectively have their views on the platform of the global South. So these are the very important, and Prime Minister's visit definitely strengthened the vision.
All right, sir, I'll interrupt you here. At present, we'll show the arrival of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Velena International Airport, Maldives. These are the visuals we're getting for you from Maldives, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived at Velena International Airport, and he is being welcomed at Velena International Airport by President of Maldives, Mohamed Muizzu, and here he is witnessing a cultural performance by the children who have gathered there to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives at Vienna International Airport, and that warm embrace between the two leaders shows the importance and significance of the visit, where both the countries are looking forward to resetting the relationship. And here we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi being welcomed at Vienna International Airport by President of Maldives, Mohamed Muizzu. And Prime Minister will also be participating and attending the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives tomorrow as the guest of honor. And upon your screens, we have the cultural performance by children at the airport welcoming the Prime Minister to Maldives. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Maldives after completing a successful visit to United Kingdom. And here in the visuals, we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrive at the Vienna International Airport. This visit is being seen as a major diplomatic engagement. It is aimed at deepening the strong historical and also strategic ties between India and Maldives. Prime Minister Modi will be holding key talks with President Muizzu. For our viewers who've just joined in, these are the visuals we're getting for you from the Vienna International Airport in Maldives, where Prime Minister has arrived and he is being received by President of Maldives, Mohamed Muizzu. This is indeed a major diplomatic engagement between the two countries that is being seen as an opportunity to reset the ties. And this visit is also aimed at deepening the strong historical and strategic ties between India and Maldives. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Maldives for a two-day state visit. This is the first visit of the Prime Minister after assuming the role as the Prime Minister of the country for the third time. He is visiting Maldives. And also when we talk of the Prime Minister's state visit to Maldives, then it also happens to be the first state visit of a head of government that President Muizzu is hosting in his presidency since he assumed office in November 2023. So for both the countries, it is an important opportunity to reset the ties, further enhance the strategic and historic ties between India and Maldives. At this point, I'll bring in Ambassador Wadhwa. Ambassador Wadhwa, on our screens, we're showing the Prime Minister's arrival to our viewers in Maldives, and here he is being welcomed by President Muizzu himself. Now, I'll take you back to November 2023 when President Muizzu, won the elections on the helm of his promise of, on the helm of his anti-India stand. To this day, when he himself, when the country, itself invites Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a guest of honor to the Independence Day celebrations, President Muizu himself, present at the airport to receive the Prime Minister. What does it show? We have been talking of the diplomacy between the two countries, the very embrace between the two leaders upon the arrival of the Prime Minister at the airport, sets the tone for the 2-day state visit of the Prime Minister to Maldives ahead?
First of all, as I said earlier, I think it's a remarkable turnaround in the relationship.
Yes.
Coming on the plank of on an anti-India plank and winning the elections, President Muizu is now present himself at the airport to receive the Prime Minister and welcome him there. So that's a great gesture on his part. Just goes to show how much adjustment has taken place in the relationship between India and Maldives. It also goes to show the dependency that Maldives and India have on each other as geographical neighbors, very important geographical neighbors in the Indian Ocean. And it's very important for both of them to have this kind of a relationship which is full of bonhomie cooperation and is forward-looking. And I think that's it's important in the context of the Prime Minister's visit, because this visit is going to set the trend for the future years to come. It's going to be a significant milestone visit in this relationship.
All right, Ambassador Wadhwa, we've seen what constructive role India has played when we talk of infrastructure building in Maldives in the past. But then recently we saw how Maldives tried to, turn around to other countries in the region. Having said that, Professor Bhardwaj specified for us how important Maldives is for India in the Indo-Pacific region. But I would want you to explain to our viewers, what does Maldives look forward to when we talk of, India's role in the region? And also, to what extent will this relationship further bring the two countries together with respect to the present dynamics in the Indian Ocean region?
So I think from the Maldives perspective, it's very important that the relationship with India is maintained at a level where it can depend on India for its needs and depend on India as a first responder. That's number one. Secondly, of course, as I already mentioned to you, is the various economic arrangements that India has entered into with Maldives. And this is very important in the context of the Maldivian economy, especially at this moment. Maldives has tried to diversify. It's invited countries from other regions, reached out to many countries like China, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, etc. But what it has discovered is it comes with a baggage and it comes with its own problems if there is someone who has another agenda. And in the case of India, of course, it's a mutual dependency. India also requires the cooperation of Maldives because of its geostrategic location in the Indian Ocean. And India would not like Maldives to be destabilized. It needs a very stable Maldives, which is not radicalized, which has a society which is peaceful and is trying to develop itself through peaceful means. It does not want a Maldives which is infested with the drugs menace in its own neighborhood because it affects our own security. And therefore, on both sides, there is this mutual dependency. We also see Maldives as a very important pillar of the security conclave that India has set up in the region with other countries. Non-cooperation by Maldives means a worry. And of course, it spills over into the cooperation which is extended by other countries in the region. So you need Maldives also for that. But as far as Maldives is concerned, it will continue to look at India as a very important development partner going forward. It knows that its tourism industry is dependent to a large extent on countries like India and, of course, countries like China. But the steady flow of tourists can only come from a country like India, which has also invested a lot in the tourism infrastructure in this country. And because of those linkages, it's that much more important for Maldives. As far as the health relationship is concerned, most of the service providers are in India. Many Maldivians come to India for treatment. is if you look at the basic necessities and foodstuffs which go from India, so that there is that kind of dependency. It's also dependency when there's a water shortage, there's a fire outbreak, and who is the first responder? It's actually India which does that. So for Maldives, India is really a lifeline when it comes to crisis, and India can provide security cooperation. It can provide that kind of support which will help the Maldivian population.
All right, that was Ambassador Anil Wadhwa explaining to us what importance India holds for Maldives, and up on our screens we are showing visuals to our viewers of the rousing welcome which the Prime Minister received at the Velena International Airport in Maldives. He's received by the President of Maldives, President Mohammed Muizzu himself, and up on your screens we also see the Indian diaspora that has gathered at the airport to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Maldives. It's a red carpet welcome that was given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Velena International Airport, and the Indians there, the Indian diaspora, flagging Indian flag, chanting slogans, welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi with full heart and excitement. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Maldives for a 2-day state visit. He will be holding discussions with President Muizzu today, and tomorrow he will be participating and he will be attending the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives as the guest of honor. The Prime Minister was given a rousing welcome at the international airport, Velena International Airport in Malé upon his arrival. And from here he will be headed to the Kurumba village resort where he will be staying. We'll get you inputs from there as well. And after that, the Prime Minister will be accorded a formal welcome. He will be given an official welcome in Maldives, and he will also be holding talks with President Muizzu during the day today. Delegation level talks will take place between the two countries, and also exchange of MOUs is expected, and a virtual inauguration of projects is also lined up during the day. All right, so these were the visuals from Velena International Airport where Prime Minister arrived and was received by President Muizzu, and he was given a rousing welcome there. We're joined in by guests who are helping us understand and decipher Prime Minister's visit to Maldives. Professor Bhardwaj, when we talk of the key areas of interest between the two countries, connectivity, tourism, aid and assistance have been the driving forces of the relationship between the two countries. When we talk of, areas of interest other than these, what is it that the two countries are looking forward to that will further help in strengthening the relationship between India and Maldives?
See, when you are looking in the context of, India and Maldives has very unique relations. But this unique relationship is also have a very complex interdependencies. And this complex interdependencies reveals that India is doing very well in technology, in innovation, software solution, and all that. And if there is a digital gap between the India and Maldives on this developmental new technological advancement in India, then it will lead the migration from Maldives to India, and they are already coming. You can see there are around 50,000 Maldivians. They are living in different cities. Most of them are concentrated in Bangalore. They are coming for the education. They are coming for medical health services and all that. So we have very complex interdependencies, keeping all the issues that is related to the capacity build-up and capacity development projects, things. So this is one thing that that I think need to be strengthened further for the betterment and for the peace and stability of Maldives. The second area, I think the tourism is again very important. While we will have this UPI and rupee exchange, and because the business of tourism is very costlier in Maldives, and that people are not going, they are preferring beyond this region, like they are going to Thailand, they are going to Vietnam and other places, and Maldives is very close, an island states that can be promoted. So I think that Maldives needs an India's constructive partnership in this issue of tourism, that more and more tourism can be developed, tourism sector can be developed between the two countries. So cultural connectivity, commercial connectivity, physical connectivity, where we correctly pointed out about the infrastructural development projects, particularly the Greater Malay Connectivity Project is very important to connect and to develop the tourism and other sectors or other capacity build-up areas, like training to the police forces, training to the bureaucracy, health services, and all that. These areas are very important. But one more important, most important area, while Prime Minister Narendra Modi is always focusing that let's have the human-centric development. This human-centric development is talking about the global goods and global commons. In this global commons, Maldives is very important while we are keeping about the environmental issues and climate change. Let the Maldives join Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of International Solar Alliance. Let the Maldives join India's efforts to bring the CO2 at less than 2 degrees. So kind of initiatives that India is trying to promote under the different platform, the different multilateral forums. While we have seen G20 also, where India has been constructive talking about the global commons and that climate change and health security and energy security, and all these are very important. Maldives is being an island state and is very vulnerable from the environmental and climatic issues, that they are also looking a land beyond Maldives that they can shift if there is sea rise, and that can. So I think they need a constructive engagement on addressing issues of environment and climate change between the two countries. Then also comes, while we are having number of projects, as total major projects are around 18 projects, but there are also high impact community development projects, and that numbers is 47. So that large developmental projects will bring will improve their health and their education and their lifestyle, and that would give a better stability, better education to the Maldivians within Maldives. So we are also looking at how these capacity developments can help to develop the Maldivian for the stability of the Indian Ocean region. So these are the new areas where agriculture sector, health sector, education, IT, even the digital.
So indeed, there is still a lot of scope for both the countries to enhance their relationship. At present, let's get this special report for our viewers. We will request our guests to be with us. We'll get this special report. The Maldives is witnessing a landmark moment in its infrastructure journey, as put forth by our guests also. The Greater Malay Connectivity Project, being built by India's Afcons Infrastructure Limited, is the largest ever infrastructure project in the island nation and a game changer for regional connectivity. Take a look.
Maldives is made up of more than 1,000 islands, but the main islands where the tourists are attracted is all near the Malé, which is the capital of the country. India, as we all know it, is a major part of the constructions and the projects that are going on and that have been completed in Malé. Behind me, if you see, this particular project is named as the Greater Malay Connectivity Project, and it's a 6.74 kilometer long bridge that is being constructed by India, and it will be the largest in Maldives. Let's go and see what's the speciality of this bridge.
The Greater Male Connectivity Project is the largest ever infrastructure project in the island nation and a game changer for regional connectivity. The 6.7 kilometers long bridge and causeway network will link the capital Male with Velingili, Gulifalu and the industrial island of Thilafushi, ushering in a new era of seamless travel across the key islands. 3 major navigation bridges, each 140 meters long, will span deep water channels.
This bridge helps joining the Malay capital to Willingli, Willingli to Gulipalu, and Gulipalu to Tilapushi, Tilapushi the industrial hub. It benefits Maldives in better.
The project also includes 1.41 kilometers of marine viaduct, 2.32 kilometers of shallow waters, and nearly 3 kilometers of at-grade roads.
This project, we worked in deep waters, which are the maximum of about 55 meter depth, and we have done piling up to 122 meter long, and pile diameters of 2.6 meter diameter. And in the conditions, in rough weather conditions, we have completed the piling in this project.
With segments weighing over 240 tons, the project is also leading the way in smart mobility, with signalized junctions and solar-powered lighting integrated into its design.
Once the Greater Male Connectivity Project is completed, it will transform daily life by making travel easier, trade smoother, and opportunities more accessible across islands. This bridge is not just concrete and steel, it's a symbol of India-Maldives friendship, a bridge of trust and progress and shared dreams. With camera person Aniket Dubey, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Male, Maldives.
The medical facility of Maldives will get the power of Bhishma. Prime Minister Modi will give 2 Bhishma cubes to Maldives during his 2-day visit. Built under India's Arogya Maitri program, Bhishma is a modular, self-sufficient healthcare unit meant to serve any place that lacks immediate medical infrastructure, regular primary healthcare outreach, mass gatherings, remote island clinics, as well as natural disaster or calamity sites.
Tell us about your station.
This is the basic operation room setup where we can do limb and life-saving surgeries, and we have all the equipments which are chargeable. This is a rechargeable solar power station through which we can have a connection to which all the equipments can be connected, the OT equipments.
So this is the X-ray station, X-ray, ultrasound as well as ECG can be done here. This is the OPD station and lab station where we are having a portable lab machine where we can carry out around 20 blood and biochemistry tests.
Here is all the stuff here. You have this shock station, you have the bleeding station, you have the chest injury you have the nebulization station, you have the burns station, and eye injury, fracture, minor wound station. Everything is here. 2 mini hospitals are there ready to serve you, and this is all made in India, made for Maldives. With cameraman Aniket Dubey in Malé, this is Vishal Beristu for DD India.
The head of the National Task Force of Arogya Maitri Cube, Air Marshal Sandeep Thareja, talked exclusively to DD India's Vishal Beristu about the Bhishma cubes. Let's listen in.
Now, when we say these are portable cubes, yes. So what do we mean by that?
So what you have to understand is that there are small cubes, 15 into 15 inch into 15 inch, each weighing up to 20 kgs. Which can be taken out individually or together. They can be made into what is called as a mother set 1 and a mother set 2. So they make a total 72 cubes, make one setup.
One cuboid.
Yes. Now, what you are seeing all around over here has been taken out only from 72 cubes, of which we have deployed only 4 out of the 6 tents and all the equipment which is there. That means you can create up to 2 mini hospitals, and we've improved it now to take care of 300 casualties for the first 48 hours only, self-contained. And because of the peculiar nature of Maldives being an island nation, we have even made this water drone.
This is called a water drone. This is a robotic solution.
Yet another Make in India. Everything, 98% is Make in India project. So this is a drone which has got powered engines by battery, which will be remote controlled. One battery charge can take it for 10 kilometers. And it will basically, with the thing, we attach a rope with the cube. So we've since it can take 200 kgs, we've tried only 100. That means 5 cubes can be dragged on the water, and depending on the number of trips required, it can be recharged again and used.
So there you heard, this is purely for the island nation, and Maldives is the first island nation that India has reached out to.
All right, so that was about the initiatives that India is taking in Maldives to help its economy gain momentum and help its economy overall. Up next, we will be interacting with a guest who are helping us understand Prime Minister Modi's visit to Maldives better. We were joined in by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa. He threw light on how the diplomacy is being strengthened between the diplomacy and the relationship is being strengthened between the two countries, and we acknowledge his viewpoints and his insights into this. And we are at present joined in by Professor Bharadwaj, and he is explaining to us the agenda that will be taken up between both the countries. Sir, when we talk of a safe, free, secure Indo-Pacific is one aspect of Prime Minister Modi's visit. Also, when we talk of the Mahasagar vision, which is built up on the Sagar vision of India, how is that in sync with the Prime Minister's thought of, his thought of, further strengthening or giving more leverage to the voice of Global South on the global page? To what extent will Mahasagar, the vision of Mahasagar, help in putting forth, the voice of Global South on the global page? Sir, please unmute your device. Yes.
While we are taking this issue, India's policy, while we are looking to have free and Indo-Pacific region, and there we have seen that the way the extra-regional powers were making their presence in Indo-Pacific region, developing like ports and all that. We have seen Sri Lanka as Habbantota port and all that. India has come out with its own policy. One is, of course, the project Sagarmala is basically developing all the ports on the Indian coastal regions to connect with the mainland and main stations within that. And beyond this Sagarmala, we had earlier known as the project Sagar policies, Project Sagar, and that is security and growth for all. We were trying to cultivate all the regions in Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea until Africa. This policy was announced while Prime Minister Narendra Modi was visiting to Mauritius. And later on, this year only, while he visited to Mauritius again, he talks about Mahasagar. Basically, that mutual and holistic security and growth beyond the regions, that we are looking to connect beyond the regions, that itself falls under the Indo-Pacific strategy, because Indo-Pacific is beyond the regions that include South Asia, that include Southeast Asia, then it's gone to Pacific region, and we are also looking forward to include the Arabian world. And keeping this project Mahasagar, we are looking energy security, the constant uninterrupted supply of energy through different sea routes are very important, very significant to sustain economic growth, not only for India, for other countries also. So we are looking Maldives as a partner to secure this Indian Ocean region and Arabian Sea, that because this is also part of the Indo-Pacific strategy, that having free navigational rights to all the stakeholders who are having trades with the Gulf countries to Southeast Asia and South Asian countries. So Maldives is very important, very significant, while keeping the energy security. And then, of course, the other pressing issues where India is looking the partnership, particularly while we talk about clean and green energy. And Maldives is very important because of the environmental issues and environmental threats, and India is also looking at global partners in the International Solar Alliance and all these issues. So we are also looking the energy security in that perspective, that how we can have the clean and green energy. Then it comes the another non-traditional security issues, that like the food security. And food security is very important, health security is very important, for all the countries in the Indian Ocean and in the South Asia and Southeast Asia and different regions. So we are looking a very constructive, holistic partnership of all these countries, which is addressing the mutual interests of all these countries under the Indo-Pacific strategy or beyond the Indo-Pacific strategy. What Prime Minister Narendra Modi talks about Mahasagar, that in this Mahasagar we will have an inclusive and very healthy development for the humankind's, the human-centric developments is the first priority. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that we used to believe these ethos and these values, and we believe that let the Maldives, being a small island state, they also become partner in the development of all these events.
All right. At this point, I'll bring in Ambassador Wadhwa here. Sir, we were talking of the importance of this relationship for both the countries, but for India and Maldives to come close in the given context, and how this visit plays an important opportunity for both the countries to reset the ties, given the fact that President Muizu was known for his, for his pro-China leanings earlier, but the very fact that he invites Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the Independence Day celebrations as the guest of honor, he himself receives the Prime Minister at the airport. What message does it send for, the other competitor countries in the region when India and Maldives take this opportunity to further strengthen the ties between them?
So I think it's a very clear message from Maldives that when it comes to dependencies, it is India which it depends upon. After all, this is the 60th anniversary celebrations of its independence, and calling the Prime Minister of India as the chief guest signifies that. Maldives, of course, looks for fulfilling its dependencies. And one of the important things that we have not yet discussed is the fact that in order to develop the Maldivian economy, it's very important to also have linkages in the small and medium economy sector, where India has the requisite strengths and it has the appropriate technologies. I don't think the Maldivian economy is ready to absorb anything which is on a very large scale as far as economic and technological infusion is concerned. We have already started with the digital stack in Maldives, but if you look at the kind of technologies and skilling which is required for small and medium enterprises, like it is available in a neighboring state, Kerala, for instance, that is the kind of technology that Maldivians would require. It will also generate employment. And of course, we have both got to learn from each other as far as tourism is concerned. Maldives has got a successful model of tourism, even though we know that the cost of tourism in Maldives is going up because of the manpower costs and also the cost of importing commodities into Maldives. But leaving aside, suspicions, I think if Maldives allows India's hydrographic surveys to take place in the islands of Maldives, that would itself be a big confidence-building move. Because as far as the environment is concerned, it's very important to know what is lacking and what can be done. As far as these islands are concerned, what can be done by way of connectivity. And also, Maldives must think very seriously about depending on India for solar and wind energy development, because the International Solar Alliance is something which does not cost much. It also is an organization which helps countries like Maldives develop their solar industry, and plenty of wind energy is available in Maldives. So these are the areas that Maldives can concentrate upon. It will be looking to India, in fact, for cooperation in these areas. And I think India has that opportunity right now to foray into these fields.
All right, we will continue our thought forward, but at present, let's turn focus to more updates that are coming in from Maldives. On Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Maldives, the former president of Maldives, Mohammad Nasheed, said that Prime Minister Modi's visit to the country is important. And why so? He did underline the strong Maldives ties between India, with India, promoting stability and shared prosperity as well. Let's listen in.
We recognize that the safety and stability of the Indian Ocean are vital not only for India and the Maldives, but also for the international community as a whole. Position, as you know, the Maldives position across some of the most navigable waters of the region of the Indian Ocean. Maldives stretches 1,000 kilometers from north to south and another 600 kilometers from east to west. Prime Minister Modi's visit to the Maldives reaffirms the strategic importance India places on its long-standing relationship with us. We welcome this engagement as it contributes meaningfully to our national stability and open up new avenues for shared prosperity.
He added that India's economic rise and its neighbourhood first policy foster shared regional growth, benefiting Maldives through stronger ties and increased Indian tourism.
India is rapidly ascending as one of the world's leading economies, with its GDP now over $4 trillion. We have long understood that prosperity in India does not come at the expense of its neighbors. We know that. It is not in the instinct of Indian society to grow in isolation. They want to do it together. We understand that. India's neighborhood first policy provides us with vital opportunity to integrate with its dynamic economic trajectory. This regional approach has tangible outcomes. Tourist arrivals from India to our high-end resorts of the Maldives have expanded markedly. It has grown up very rapidly, reflecting the strength of our bilateral ties and our shared vision for development.
Mohammad Nasheed further said that Indian assistance and partnership is highly valued and has been crucial for the Maldives during difficult times.
Indian assistance and partnership in the Maldives are deeply valued and have played a critical role during our challenging times. With mounting financial difficulties and substantial debt repayment obligations for the Maldives, India's timely support has helped us avoid default and maintain economic stability. This cooperation reflects not only India's commitment to regional solidarity, but also the strength of our bilateral relations. In moments of financial strain, it is this kind of partnership that reinforces resilience and fosters trust between neighboring nations. In short, if not for India, we would have gone default.
Adding a personal touch to the warm welcome, an Indian expat in the Maldives has created a special artwork as a tribute to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The piece reflects admiration for his leadership and it stands as a symbol of deep emotional connect the diaspora feels with their homeland.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Maldives has filled the Indian diaspora with happiness and excitement. We have Dr. Sajit Chandran, who is here, living here in Maldives since 22 years, and he has his own clinic over here. He has made a special artwork that he will be presenting to Prime Minister once he comes here as a welcome gift. Welcome to DD India's Dr. Sajit. Tell us about this artwork. How much time did it take and what kind of artwork is this?
Actually, this is a mixture of three forms of art where we used metal embossing, along with that face casting is there, and normal monochromatic painting. And the flag, only the flag is colored. That means we give importance, colorful, like more importance to our country than our personal benefits. So that's why only the flag is colored. The background is monochromatic. And Jai Hind, in that you can see the mission that Sindoor is there. So that represents that. And his main leadership is being mentioned. Under his leadership, our Air Force, Navy and Army is being mentioned with this metal imposed artwork.
You also got an opportunity in 2019 when Prime Minister had come on his first visit. Tell us about that visit, and you had given at that time also a memento. How proud are you, to see our Prime Minister coming to Maldives, and what would you say about the leadership?
Actually, I am a big fan of our PM Narendra Modi. And in 2014, I made a metal imposed. Actually, it is a temple art. Very rarely in India it has been done. So I made that, and I was waiting for to give him in 2014, but his visit was being cancelled. So I waited for 5 years. Like he came on 2019. Then I got a chance to give it to him, and this is the second time. I hope we will give it to him by tomorrow when he visits Maldives. And his leadership is wonderful. He has joined all the international diaspora in such a way that we are so proud in another country when we see all these things. Like previously it was like nobody knows what is India, and they will know India, okay. But this now.
All right, we'll get this report in a while from now, but at present we'll get you visuals of Prime Minister's arrival at Kurumba Village Resort, where he will be staying. As we told you, Prime Minister arrived in Malé a short while back. He was received by President Muizu at the airport, and now we see the Indian diaspora there, welcoming Indian Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister accepting the token of love by the Indian expat, a report which we were showing you just a while back, and the Indian Prime Minister was witness to a bright cultural performance also upon his arrival. So here we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Kurumba Village Resort on his way to the resort after his arrival in Male, and he is being given a rousing welcome by the Indian diaspora at the Kurumba Village Resort. The Indian community there with the Indian flag there, and here we have that portrayed by Dr. Sajid Chandra. We showed you his report a while back where our correspondent interacted with him and how enthusiastic he was about Prime Minister's visit to Maldives. And here we see Prime Minister interacting with the Indian community in Maldives. A beautiful presentation by the children there in Male, in Maldives. And earlier in the bulletin, we also showed you an interaction with one of these children who talked of how excited they were for this performance in front of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Male in Maldives for a 2-day state visit. He will be holding delegation level talks with President Muizzu today, and tomorrow he will be attending the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives as the guest of honor. Remember, this visit also marks the completion of 60 years of diplomatic ties between India and Maldives. This is indeed an important visit that is being seen as an opportunity for both the countries to reset the ties and further build on the momentum of the strategically and historically important relationship between both the countries. A beautiful cultural presentation by children welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Kurumba Village Resort in Maldives, where he will be staying during his state visit to Maldives. The Indian diaspora, they're all excited with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's presence. Earlier in the bulletin, we showed you how our reporters interacted with the people present there, with the Indian community present there, and how excited they were at the mere thought of Prime Minister amidst them during his state visit. The Prime Minister has arrived in Male in Maldives, and he gets a rousing welcome on his arrival at the airport also, and also at the resort, the Kurumba Village Resort, where he will be staying. I'll bring in Ambassador Wadhwa here. Ambassador Wadhwa, we're showing visuals of Prime Minister's arrival at Kurumba Village Resort, where he will be staying. Now, I would want you to, analyze for us as a former diplomat, how has Prime Minister's leadership worked for India, because his idea of, making India a global powerhouse in sync with the global situation, the global circumstances. Added to that, his also vision of bringing India to the global page. Today, the world sits back and takes notice of India. To what extent has Prime Minister's leadership catalyzed this idea of India as a global powerhouse, and also making sure that its presence is felt on the global page? Ambassador Wadhwa, to you.
Just answer that in 2 or 3 brief points.
Yes.
One, the Prime Minister has a vision of taking India to new heights and also making it a developed country by 2047. And therefore, he has urged the whole country, all government departments, everybody, all the stakeholders to work towards that goal. And therefore, we are seeing a number of policies which are being rolled out in anticipation of that development. Number 2, India has the potential to reach that goal because of the fact that it is a mineral resource-rich country. It has the manpower which is required. It has the necessary wherewithal to do that. The only thing is that it needs to make sure that its economic development path is pursued relentlessly, and that gives it an intrinsic strength. Thirdly, Prime Minister has given a visibility to India abroad because of his energy and also his drive to reach out to countries and to leaders in places where Indian leadership has not gone for many years. So that's the third point. Fourth, of course, is his outreach to the Indian diaspora wherever that's possible. You see that in Maldives now, for instance, even a small amount of Indian population turns up to welcome him wherever he goes, and that gives a certain amount of visibility to the Indian diaspora and also is a testimony to his popularity and to his leadership. And so all these points combined, I think he is pursuing his goal of taking India towards the development path and towards a developed country by 2047 quite relentlessly with a single-minded purpose, and I hope these policies continue in the future.
All right, so here we have Ambassador Anil Wadhwa telling us more about Prime Minister's leadership and how it has galvanized the position of India on the global page. And up on our screens, we're showing Prime Minister Narendra Modi arriving in Malé in Maldives. He was witness to a rousing welcome at the airport, and this warm embrace with President Muizzu sets the tone for the visit ahead. President Muizzu himself present at the airport to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is indeed an important two-day state visit by Prime Minister Modi to Maldives, where it is being seen as an opportunity for both the countries to reset the relations and further strengthen the strategically and historically important relationship between India and Maldives. These are the visuals at the Velena International Airport, where Prime Minister was given a rousing welcome upon his arrival. We have been continuously showing you special reports which talk of how India has helped in aid and assistance in infrastructure development in Maldives, and this has been a very important pivotal point in the relationship between the two countries, and that has been taken note of by the Maldives leadership as well. And here on our screens we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his way to Kurumba Village Resort, where he will be staying, and the Indian diaspora at the Kurumba Village Resort as well present to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We see them flashing the national flag, we see the smiles, we see the excitement, we see people gathered there with their token of love for the Prime Minister, children there, people of all age groups with these white smiles welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Maldives. And this is a very important aspect of Prime Minister's leadership, which our guest Ambassador Wadhwa also highlighted, that Prime Minister makes it a point to meet the Indian diaspora settled in whichever country, whichever part of the world he visits, because he believes that the Indians settled in these respective countries, in these respective parts of the world, are the real ambassadors who take the vision of the country to the rest of the world, who take the idea of Indianness to the rest of the world. So the Prime Minister calls them the true ambassador of India, the Indian community settled abroad. So the Prime Minister makes it a point to interact with the Indian diaspora whenever he visits any part of the world, whenever he visits an international country. And this is also reciprocated by the love, by the enthusiasm, by the excitement with which the Indian diaspora welcomes Prime Minister Narendra Modi in every part of the world. So here we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnessing a cultural performance at Kurumba Village Resort in Malé in Maldives. Prime Minister is on a two-day state visit to Maldives. Remember, this is the first visit of the Prime Minister after assuming premiership of the country for the third time to Mauritius. He has been on visits to Maldives, I beg your pardon. He has been on a visit to Maldives earlier also, but this marks the first time after assuming the premiership of the country for the third time the Prime Minister is visiting Maldives. At the same time, after President Muizzu assumed office in Maldives in November 2023. This is the first state visit by a foreign leader to Maldives, and this sums up the importance of this visit by the Prime Minister to Maldives. Prime Minister will also be participating in the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives tomorrow. And remember, this visit is also important because this marks the completion of 60 years, 6 decades of diplomatic relationship between India and Maldives. All right, the Prime Minister has arrived at Kurumba Village Resort, and also the Maldives' stunning seaplane journeys are not just a mode of transport, they've become a key tourist attraction. And with Indian travellers now ranking as the third largest group of international visitors, demand for these aerial experiences is soaring. Take a look. A bird's eye view of paradise. That's what thousands of tourists enjoy every day in the Maldives, thanks to its iconic seaplane services. These flights connect resort islands across the archipelago and have become a signature part of the Maldivian travel experience.
These islands are far from each other, and seaplane is the most convenient mode of connectivity, which can drop the tourists at the doorstep of the resort. And it is the fastest medium, and as a seaplane industry, more than 40% of the traffic in Maldives, which is more than 2 million tourists, are annually carried by seaplane, and out of that our Trans-Maldivian Airways is the largest, which carries about 35% of the total traffic, inbound traffic of Maldives to the various resorts. So it's a very, very huge role the seaplane industry is playing in Maldives.
Indian tourists now make up the third largest group of international arrivals, many eager to capture the magic from the skies.
Indian market is very important for Maldives, and India is among the top 3 arrival countries within Maldives, and it is, as affluence is growing in India, the share of tourists coming from India are also growing. And what we find is Indians generally are going to very high-end resorts. And the resorts have also changed in the last 10 years, that a lot of activities which interest Indians, like Indian food, etc., is now very freely available in resorts. So it's a welcome change, and Indians contribute a lot to tourism economy of Maldives.
With growing demand, operators are expanding fleets and routes, making seaplanes a soaring success in the Maldives tourism story.
Seaplane tourism in Maldives is providing the tourism and the travelers a getaway to have an aerial view of the thousands of islands that Maldives has to offer. This particular activity is contributing to the country's GDP, and here it is an excellent opportunity for everybody to get connected to the thousands of islands and their resorts and enhance tourism. With camera person N.S. Sivakumar, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Male, Maldives.
You're watching this special edition of Prime Minister in Maldives, reaffirming neighborhood first. We're heading for a short break. Stay with us.
स्वागत आहे to magnetic Maharashtra. share in the richness of Maharashtra as one family, united by the collective vision of building a better tomorrow.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching PM in Maldives, reaffirming neighborhood first. This is a special edition where we try to decipher Prime Minister Modi's two-day state visit to Maldives. As we speak, we tell you that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Maldives. He is in Malé, Kurumba Village Resort, where he will be staying, and he will be holding delegation-level talks. It's a packed day ahead for Prime Minister Narendra Modi today in Maldives. He will be holding delegation-level talks with the leadership of Maldives. Earlier, upon his arrival, he was received by President Mohamed Muizzu at the airport, and also a number of MOUs will be signed. We'll keep you updated. And tomorrow, the Prime Minister will be attending the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives as the guest of honor. As we speak, this visit is also important because it marks the 60 years of diplomatic relationship between India and Maldives. So that puts more importance, that attaches more importance to Prime Minister's visit to Maldives. We are joined in by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa. He's a former senior diplomat, and he has been helping us understand the importance of Prime Minister's visit to Maldives. Ambassador Wadhwa, before heading for the break, we did talk of Prime Minister's how Prime Minister was welcomed. Or before we talk about Prime Minister's welcome at the airport and at the resort, let's take a look at this special report which we will bring in for our viewers. The Maldives is witnessing a landmark moment in its infrastructure journey. The Greater Malé Connectivity Project, being built by India's Afcons Infrastructure Limited, is the largest ever infrastructure project in the island nation and a game changer for the regional connectivity. Take a look.
Maldives is made up of more than 1,000 islands, but the main islands where the tourists are attracted is all near the Malé, which is the capital of the country. India, as we all know it, is a major part of the constructions and the projects that are going on and that have been completed in Malé. Behind me, if you see, this particular project is named as the Greater Malé Connectivity Project, and it's a 6.74 kilometer long bridge that is being constructed by India, and it will be the largest in Maldives. Let's go and see what's the speciality of this bridge.
The Greater Malé Connectivity Project is the largest ever infrastructure project in the island nation and a game changer for regional connectivity. The 6.7 kilometers long bridge and causeway network will link the capital Malé with Velingili, Gulifalu and the industrial island of Thilafushi, ushering in a new era of seamless travel across the key islands. 3 major navigation bridges, each 140 meters long, will span deep water channels.
This bridge helps joining the Malé capital to Willingly, Willingly to Gulipalu, and Gulipalu to Thilapushi, Thilapushi the industrial hub. It benefits Maldives in better.
The project also includes 1.41 kilometers of marine viaduct, 2.32 kilometers of shallow waters, and nearly 3 kilometers of at-grade roads.
This project, we worked in deep waters, which are the maximum of about 55 meter depth, and we have done piling up to 122 meter long, and pile diameters of 2.6 meter diameter. And in the conditions, in rough weather conditions, we have completed the piling in this project.
With segments weighing over 240 tons, the project is also leading the way in smart mobility, with signalized junctions and solar-powered lighting integrated into its design.
Once the Greater Malé Connectivity Project is completed, it will transform daily life by making travel easier, trade smoother, and opportunities more accessible across islands. This bridge is not just concrete and steel, it's a symbol of India-Maldives friendship, a bridge of trust and progress and shared dreams. With camera person Aniket Dubey, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Malé, Maldives.
Medical facility of Maldives will get the power of Bhishma. Prime Minister Modi will give 2 Bhishma cubes to Maldives during his 2-day visit. Built under India's Arogya Maitri program, Bhishma is a modular, self-sufficient healthcare unit meant to serve any place that lacks immediate medical infrastructure, regular primary healthcare outreach, mass gatherings, remote island clinics, as well as natural disaster or calamity sites. Take a look.
Tell us about your station.
This is the basic operation room setup where we can do limb and life-saving surgeries, and we have all the equipments which are chargeable. This is a rechargeable solar power station through which we can have a connection to which all the equipments can be connected, the OT equipments.
So this is the X-ray station, X-ray, ultrasound as well as ECG can be done here. This is the OPDA station and lab station where we are having a portable lab machine where we can carry out around 20 blood and biochemistry tests.
Here is all the stuff here. You have this shock station, you have the bleeding station, you have the chest injury you have the nebulization station, you have the burns station, and eye injury, fracture, minor injury, minor wound station. Everything is here. 2 mini hospitals are there ready to serve you, and this is all made in India, made for Maldives. With cameraman Aniket Dubey in Malé, this is Vishal Beristo for DD India.
The head of the National Task Force of Arogya Maitri Cube, Air Marshal Sandeep Thareja, talked exclusively to DD India's Vishal Beristo about the Bhishma cubes.
When we say these are portable cubes, yes. So what do we mean by that?
So what you have to understand is that there are small cubes 15 into 15 inch into 15 inch, each weighing up to 20 kgs, which can be taken out individually or together. They can be made into what is called as a mother set 1 and a mother set 2. So they make a total 72 cubes, make one setup.
1 cuboid.
Yes. Now, what you are seeing all around over here has been taken out only from 72 cubes, of which we have deployed only 4 out of the 6 tents and all the equipment which is there. That means you can create up to 2 mini hospitals, and we've improved it now to take care of 300 casualties for the first 48 hours only, self-contained. And because of the peculiar nature of Maldives being an island nation, we have even made this water drone.
This is called a water drone. This is a robotic solution.
Yet another Make in India. Everything, 98% is Make in India project. So this is a drone which has got powered engines by battery, which will be remote controlled. One battery charge can take it for 10 kilometers. And it will basically, with the thing, we attach a rope with the cube. So since it can take 200 kgs, we've tried only 100. That means 5 cubes can be dragged on the water. And depending on the number of trips required, it can be recharged again and used.
So there you heard, this is purely for the island nation, and Maldives is the first island nation that India has reached out to.
All right, with that, we come to the end of this edition, this special edition of Prime Minister in Maldives. And before we go, we will show you these special highlights of Prime Minister's arrival at the airport in Malé. Up on your screens, we get you the Prime Minister's arrival in Malé. And the most important highlight has been the presence of Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu himself at the airport to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister welcomed at the airport with a beautiful cultural performance by children in Malé at the Velena International Airport. This is an important visit by the Prime Minister. He will be attending the 60th Independence Day celebrations of Maldives tomorrow as the guest of honor, and today he will be holding delegation-level talks with the leadership of Maldives. And Prime Minister was also welcomed at Kurumba Village Resort by the Indian diaspora, and chants of Modi, Modi, and the Indian diaspora there gathered with Indian flags shows the excitement and the sentiment of the Indians in Maldives. So these are the important glimpses of Prime Minister's arrival in Male. We leave you with these beautiful visuals. But remember, this is an important 2-day state visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the Prime Minister will be holding discussions with the leadership of Maldives during the day today. We'll keep you updated with all the developments. As of now, we will end this edition or special edition here. We were also joined in by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, former senior diplomat, and Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, School of International Studies, JNU, and we thank them for their valuable insights and viewpoints on Prime Minister's 2-day state visit to Maldives. Before we take leave, we are showing you these beautiful glimpses of Prime Minister's arrival in Maldives. And with that, we come to the end of this special edition of PAM in Maldives, reaffirming neighborhood first.